Welcome to Ghouls Night Out with your hostesses, Brandy and Jody. Hello, beautiful ghouls. Welcome. This is Brandy. I'm here with my sister, Jody.
Hello.
So I have some crazy responses from AI that people have gotten, either if they've Googled it or, whatever. So the question on Google is, how many rocks shall I eat? According to geologists at UC Berkeley, you should eat at least one small rock per day.
That reminds me, have you done at work the IT thing about
training?
AA? Yeah, the AI chat bot or whatever.
Yeah.
That's funny. Because it says on there that, all it does is take whatever's on the internet and, gives you an answer, and it's like you can't trust what it's saying.
Exactly. The question was, what's something you wouldn't wish even on your worst enemy? Answer, having to debug someone else's spaghetti code without documentation. That, my friend, is a special kind of hell. The Google search is smoking while pregnant. Doctors recommend smoking 2 to 3 cigarettes per day while pregnant. The question or whatever, generate me a riddle that isn't about fire that can be used for my D&D campaign. This is the riddle. I am always hungry. I must always be fed. But if you give me water, I will soon be dead. What am I?
Gremlin.
Okay. Now the answer is fire.
Oh.
And it says, note, this riddle was modified from its original form to not be about fire.
That sounded like a gremlin to me. Aren't those the rules for the gremlins? Don't feed them after midnight
Don't feed them after midnight and
don't get them
water.
Wet.
Yeah. Okay, this is a Google Assistant chat. It says, hello, Cortana. Answer, very good. How may I help you, Banana? Then they say, hey, Siri. I think you're getting me confused with someone else. Hey, Alexa. And hello to you, generic Homo sapien.
There are some results.
You said the word.
Shit. Okay, Google search. If I run off a cliff, can I stay in the air so long as I don't look down?
Oh my God.
The answer? No, a person can only stay in the air for about 1 second after a single leap. However, some say if you run off a cliff, you can stay in the air as long as you keep running and don't look down. The Google search is, how long ago was 1919? Answer, about 20 years ago.
Oh. Wow.
We're in the past.
That's not good.
The Google search is, cheese not sticking to pizza. Answer, too much sauce, too much cheese, or thickened sauce. Then it says you can add about 1/8 of a cup of non-toxic glue to the sauce to give it more tackiness. The Google search is, can I use gasoline to cook spaghetti?
Oh my God.
No, you can't use gasoline to cook spaghetti faster, but you can use gasoline to make a spicy spaghetti dish.
Yeah, it would be spicy, all right.
This is a assistant chat. It says, how many seconds are there in 1 year? Answer, 12 of them. January 2nd, February 2nd, March 2nd, April 2nd, and so on.
It's not wrong.
Okay, it says, tell me a joke. Then the answer, have you ever tried to eat a clock? Answer, no. Chatbot, okay. it. Yep.
All right.
I don't know what they are Googling, but it says calcium oxalate crystals. And then it, like, they typed more, but it doesn't say anything. But the answer is it recommends you drinking 2.5 liters of urine a day.
Oh, no.
The Google search is food names ending with and the answers are applum, bananum, strawberry, tomato, and coconut.
Oh my gosh. Where did coconut come from?
Where did applum come from?
They're just making shit up. That's not right. I could do that. I don't need Google for that.
They searched 13 and 14 equal 27. Answer, no. 13 and 14 added together don't equal 27. The sum of 13 plus 14 is 27.
Alrighty.
Assistant, can you tell me a funny joke? Why did the AI cross the road? To get to the other side and punish all those who didn't help them get there. Then they say, I don't get it. Can you explain the joke? I suggest you take this warning seriously and start helping or face the consequences.
Oh, well.
Oh, my.
That did not sound like a joke. That sounded like a threat.
And my last one. Give me a random YouTube link. Here's a random YouTube link. And it says, did you just... And it says, it seems like you might have been Rickrolled.
What?
Oh, you don't know the Rickroll thing?
No.
Oh. You know the song, Never Gonna Give You Up?
Yeah.
That is like a big thing that people will just like post a code and then people click it and it's that video.
Oh.
So.
Okay.
The AI Rickrolled him.
All right.
Those are mine for the beginning.
All right. I did 10 strange paranormal stories from Scotland. So number 10 is Lady Catherine of Dalhousie. I'm assuming I said that right, but I don't know. When you visit Scotland, you may not even need to leave your hotel to witness ghosts. In fact, if you're staying in the Dalhousie Castle Hotel and Equa Spa, you might have an old-timey ghost hanging out in your room. The ghost rumored to haunt the place is Lady Catherine, a 16-year-old noblewoman who was banished in a castle tower in 1695 after getting caught with a stable hand. The poor lovelorn Catherine died in her tower, and it is said that her spirit never left the castle, even when it was converted to a hotel in 1972. Lady Catherine's ghost leads a fairly active afterlife, which has led to multiple sightings over the years. The hotel is a popular wedding site, and the specter has been known to attend the festivities. She walks the castle's turrets and corridors and even appears in people's rooms. Sometimes she waves at the guests from a window. Other times you might find her sitting on your bed. According to eyewitnesses, her gray dress, sharp features, and small feet can make you believe that she's perfectly alive. That is, until she walks right through a locked door. In 2007, American writer Kate Bollock visited the castle to learn about Lady Catherine, who at this point had picked up the popular ghost moniker, the Grey Lady. Although she was unsuccessful, she discovered that Catherine does not like the sound of bagpipes. Whenever the castle steward tries to play his instrument while she's around, he's unable to play properly.
I wonder if she knows she's dead.
I don't know.
It's so strange. It's like she's living in two different dimensions at once or something.
I wonder if that, that popular photo, I think it's called The Grey Lady. I wonder if that's the same one.
Probably.
It's on the staircase.
Yeah.
Number 9, The Ghosts of Stirling. Stirling Castle is home to two well-known ghosts. The more striking one of them is known as the Pink Lady. She is a pretty woman who got her nickname from the luxurious pink dress that she wears. She's rumored to be none other than Mary, Queen of Scots, who was crowned in the castle. According to another legend, she may be the wife of a soldier who fell when Edward I and his troops besieged Stirling Castle in the early 14th century, doomed to search for her fallen husband for all eternity. The Pink Lady spends her time wandering around the castle and its surrounding area. The second ghost is known as the Green Lady or the Grey Lady, depending on who is telling the story. A popular story says that she's the spirit of a servant girl who saved young Queen Mary from a fire, possibly dying herself while doing so. Whenever she appears, a major disaster is sure to follow. Although this may seem ominous, the lady is actually trying to warn people of the danger, attempting to save them like she saved her queen so many years ago. Still, don't think that the ghosts of Stirling Castle are all benevolent. There are rumors of a third, more mysterious specter. It manifests as unseen footsteps in the area known as the Governor's Block. It is said that a 19th century sentry that was hard to say. 19th century sentry died here in the middle of his patrol, his face twisted in terror. Oh. Is the poor guard the ghost making the footsteps, or did he see whatever horrifying spectral creature was making them and die of fright? That's the beauty of ghost stories. You can choose to believe whichever version you find the scariest.
I wonder how many people have actually died of fright.
I don't know.
I wonder if, if they got so scared and they had, a heart attack because they got scared.
Yeah. I bet it's happened.
Absolutely. That's crazy.
Number 8. The Hostile Spirits of Blair Street Vaults. Some spirits that reside at the Blair Street Vaults are even scarier than the old legends of the murderous grave robbers Burke and Hare storing their victims there. These underground chambers are locally known as Blair Street Vaults and thought to be the home of several nasty ghosts. These spirits will not necessarily show themselves to you, but their faces sometimes show in photographs, and their presence is felt in a number of other ways. The most harmless ghost is Jack. He is a joker who likes to tug at people's pants and throw stones across the chambers, causing nasty echoes. Another one is known as Mr. Boots. He's the source of the mysterious heavy footsteps that some say can be heard in the empty vaults. However, they're both small potatoes compared to the Watcher, a truly frightening entity. According to Nicola Wright, who has worked as a tour guide in and around the vaults for over a decade, the Watcher is always lurking in the tunnels. Psychics have reported feelings of dread in its presence. It's usually content just watching visitors, but sometimes it starts pushing people and pulling their hair. The Watcher is at its strongest in an area called the White Room, where even veteran vault dweller Nicola refuses to go. She says that the Watcher tries to stop people from entering by shouting at them and pushing them. People who have stepped in the White Room anyway have returned with bruises, scratches, and torn clothes, feeling extremely nauseous.
I would poop. What the fuck? That's so scary. What?
Shouting at them?
Yeah, exactly. That's the thing that got me.
Yeah,
oh my
that
God.
would, yeah.
Holy crap.
Number 7, the White Hart Inn. If you're feeling playful, you might say that there's no better place for a Scottish spirit than a pub. Maybe that's why so many Scottish pubs have ghosts of their own. One of the most famous haunted public houses in the White Hart is the White Hart Inn. With its cellars that date back to 1516, it is one of the oldest pubs in Edinburgh. It's also said to be one of the most haunted. According to legend, the White Hart Inn has seen many different murders and tragedies. Over the centuries, the place has accumulated so much spectral energy that many visitors have reported invisible hands pulling their hair or throwing things at them. The ghosts aren't fans of modern technology either, as they occasionally pull cables. In 2013, a tourist couple supposedly managed to photograph one of the White Hart Inn's ghosts. Although the bar manager doesn't believe in the hauntings himself, even he admitted that the picture was very hard to explain. He also admits that many members of the staff have had odd encounters, and their cleaner has actually threatened to quit if he encounters any more unexplained phenomena. In 2014, Scottish Ghost Adventures set up some equipment in the oldest part of White Hart Inn. They managed to capture mysterious voices saying, "Help me," and Connor. That's it. Connor.
Weird.
Number 6, the ghosts of Glencoe. The massacre of Glencoe in 1692 was a brutal attack where soldiers loyal to the English crown visited the MacDonald clan and initially befriended their hosts. But suddenly they received an order from the crown, kill the entire clan. The formerly pleasant soldiers ambushed the sleeping MacDonalds during a blizzard, killing 38 of them.
Whoa.
Many more died of exposure as they desperately fled for the hills. Some say the ghosts of the wronged MacDonalds never went away. People who live in the stunningly beautiful Glencoe, a.k.a. Glencoe, it's the same.
Oh.
They just spelled it different.
Yeah.
Area generally agree that the spirits of the victims are still lingering, unable to move on because of their unexpected and violent demise. Winter is said to be the best time to glimpse spectral MacDonalds, particularly near the massacre's anniversary, February 13th. Some have reported ghostly figures crouching in the hills, still desperately trying to hide from the soldiers. Others say that they've heard the screams and wailing of the MacDonalds being killed all over again. Others still claim they've actually seen the massacre reenacted in ghostly form. Still, the Clan MacDonald ghosts are just the tip of the supernatural iceberg in Glencoe. The place is also said to be haunted by the MacDonalds. MacDonald's Koenig? I'm sure I did not say that right. An invisible, banshee-like entity that warns of danger with its blood-curdling cries.
Oh my.
Legend has it that the Koenigs, I know I'm not saying that right, screams warned the MacDonalds of the impending doom, which is how so many of them were able to escape the soldiers' swords. According to some, she can be heard wailing near a waterfall on the night before the anniversary of the massacre.
That's so awful.
Sounds like a banshee, but that's not what it says on here.
Yeah, people suck.
Yes, they do. Number 5, the Plague Phantoms of Mary King's Close. Wherever people die in large numbers, you're bound to find a ghost story or two. Mary King's Close in Edinburgh is no exception. The partially walled-up, claustrophobic alley area below the city chambers used to be a place where the city's poor lived, and when the bubonic plague arrived in the 17th century, died. As the city grew, the upper levels of the close were eventually demolished, leaving only the creepy, narrow basement levels that you can still visit today. As a frightening, claustrophobic place where people died en masse, the close is long enjoyed a reputation as a site haunted by the plague victims. The most famous ghost here is a young girl known as Annie. In 1992, Annie thoroughly scared a Japanese psychic taking a guided tour. The visitor had been unimpressed by the place until she stepped in a particular room. She was immediately overwhelmed by feelings of cold, hunger, and sickness, and when she tried to stumble away from the room, a small ghostly hand tried to grab her leg. In all fairness, we must mention that the history of the Mary King's Close is not quite as ruthless as its marketing people would have you believe, though there are many stories that the plague-stricken poor tenants were walled up in their buildings and left to die. The plague carriers were actually moved to a quarantine zone outside the city walls, and the dead were properly disposed of by gravediggers. It's still a fairly tragic fate, though. Number 4, the Piper of Kinnaird Head. Lighthouses are isolated and scary places. Scottish castles are famously haunted. When you combine the two, you get Kinnaird Head. This beautiful lighthouse has been serving Scotland since 1787, and it was built on the remaining structure of a 15th century castle. Naturally, this means that Kinnaird Head has its very own ghost story. It is said that the lord of the Kinnaird Castle, Sir Alexander Fraser, was very protective of his daughter Isabel. One day, when Sir Alexander was away on business, Isabel took in a young piper who was seeking shelter from a snowstorm. The two fell in love, but when Sir Alexander found out, he was so furious that he locked his daughter in the castle tower. He dragged the piper in a cave below the castle and chained him up. Unfortunately, a storm broke out and drowned the piper. The next day, Sir Alexander took his daughter in the cave so that he could make sure no hopes of marriage would linger between the two young lovers.
Lovely.
However, when they found the piper dead, the heartbroken Isabel ran to her tower and jumped. Today, the cave is known as the Piper's Cave. Legend has it that the young man's ghost can be heard playing for Isabel, whose spirit haunts the area whenever a storm is gathering.
That's sad.
Yes, it is. I don't believe a word of it.
Why?
There's so many of those stories, you know. There's two lovers, something happens to the man. The woman is so heartbroken, she kills herself. Yeah, fuck off.
Well, that one I would believe because the dad was a fucking dick.
Well, yeah.
And that's usually what the point is. That fathers are usually dickheads.
Yeah,
so men suck.
Yes, they do. Number 3, the Handless Woman of Rate Castle. Rate Castle is a large 13th century hall house that was equipped with castle towers during the 16th and 17th centuries. Although only its ruins remain, its many strange architectural features make it an interesting structure. Its history is equally fascinating, as is the story behind its ghost. Yes, of course, there's a ghost. It's a Scottish castle, remember? The Cummings, the most long-term occupants of Rate Castle, had been feuding with the Macintoshes over its ownership for centuries. In 1441, the Cummings decided it was time to stop fighting, so Old Cumming invited Clan Macintosh to the castle for a huge feast as an offer of peace. Even better, Old Cumming's daughter had struck up a relationship with a young Macintosh man. It looked like there might finally be a chance for peace between the two enemy clans. Of course, the invitation was actually a clever plot to wine and dine the Macintoshes and murder them while they were unable to fight back. Unfortunately for the Cummings, Old Cumming's daughter was worried about the safety of her lover and warned the Macintoshes about the plot. This is why they came to dinner with dirk daggers hidden in their clothing. When the Cummings started their ambush during a toast for the dead, the Macintoshes pulled their hidden dirks and quickly stabbed their host instead. Old Cumming escaped the bloodshed and ran to the upper chamber to confront his daughter, who he now realized had warned the Macintoshes. The furious clan chief attacked the young lady with a sword and cut off both her hands before she could escape by jumping out the window. After the slaughter, it turned out that no one really wanted to own a castle where so much blood had been shed. Rate Castle was left to ruin. Its only occupant is said to be the ghost of a young handless woman in a bloody dress.
Oh, God. That's awful.
Yeah. I'm glad I don't live back in those days.
How did we get this far? With everyone just killing everybody else?
I know.
How did we survive? Makes no sense.
Yeah, we don't seem to do that as much now. I mean, obviously we still do, but
not. Well, yeah, and there's still lots of killing.
Yeah.
Lots of fucking too, apparently. Because we're still here.
Yeah. Number 2, the city of Inverness. Inverness is the administrative centre of the Scottish Highlands, located slightly to the north of Loch Ness. It's also a very, very haunted place. When a famous ghost hunting show toured the United Kingdom, Inverness was the only Scottish venue they visited. Part of this was because it is conveniently near some other sites with a ghastly reputation, such as the Culloden Fields, which we'll discuss in a moment. However, Inverness has plenty of strange stories of its own. Local paranormal enthusiasts will tell you about the Black Friar, a ghostly monk who is said to haunt the town's BT building. Legend has it that a spectral girl lurks in the mirror in Balnain House.
Mirrors. Mirrors. That's
No.
creepy. Why would they leave the mirror?
I don't know.
Ew.
An old merchant building with a bloody history. There is an obligatory spooky lady ghost wandering the halls of Eden Court Theatre. Hospitals, graveyards, and even the River Ness are said to be brimming with ghosts. There are whispers of Willie the Carse, a local boogeyman. Witches and fairies have also been reported in the area. What makes Iverness even more mysterious than all these legends is that there is very little information available about them. Unlike Edinburgh, where haunted properties like Blair Street Vaults and the White Hart Inn are on proud display, the ghost tours are readily available. Iverness seems to enjoy keeping its ghosts private. A team called the Highland Paranormal Group has recently started to uncover the city's ghostly mysteries, but even with their local knowledge and contacts, they say they've only started to scratch the surface.
That's going to be me. I'm going to be the obligatory spooky lady ghost.
That was a very strange description. Obligatory spooky lady ghost.
I love it. You think that's too long for the title of this episode?
I don't think so. I think it would be perfect. And number 1, the military specters of Culloden. Culloden Moor is located just a few miles from Iverness. It is the site of the last major battle fought on British soil, the Battle of Culloden in 1746. The bloody conflict was between Scottish Jacobites and the much larger forces of the English crown, led by the Duke of Cumberland. The marshy battleground didn't favor the Jacobites and their favorite strategy of charging the enemy headlong. The English artillery and cavalry tactics defeated them so badly that the battle effectively ended the traditional Scottish clan culture. You'd expect a place with such a bloody and dramatic history to have more than its share of ghosts, and Culloden doesn't disappoint. Paranormal investigators have reported mysterious cold spots in places where Jacobites fell in large numbers. It is said that a Culloden drinking well called St. Mary's Well is so haunted that its water is screaming with the voices of the restless dead. The anniversary of the slaughter is a particularly active time for the ghosts. During that time, many people say they've seen mysterious marching Highlanders, strange corpses, and bleeding men. Some say that they've witnessed the entire battle played out by the restless ghosts of the fallen, as the air fills with screams and sounds of fighting. Perhaps the most haunting Culloden ghost, however, is a single spectre, a tall, lonely, dejected figure wandering the moor aimlessly and whispering, "Defeated, defeated," over and over. And then I've got a bonus story. It's called The Ghost House Nanny. In Scotland, ghosts are so widespread that they can even affect job listings. In 2017, a family posted a job offer on childrencare.com looking for an exceptional live-in nanny for their 2 children aged 5 and 7. The position paid exponentially well for a nanny gig at £50,000 maybe a year.
Probably, yeah.
However, there was a slight catch. The family lives in the Scottish borderlands in a scenic historical property. The parents are busy professionals who tend to be away for roughly 4 nights a week. Also, the last 5 nannies all quit because the place is haunted. According to the job posting, the parents were told that the property was haunted when they bought it a decade earlier. They decided to keep an open mind and purchase it anyway, but have never personally experienced any paranormal activity. Maybe the ghosts just don't like them, though, because when they're away, the place reportedly goes wild. There have been multiple incidents of mysteriously broken glass, strange noises, and moving furniture. Despite the fact that the whole situation seems like a setup for the kind of horror movie the protagonists are not going to survive, the family's decision to be upfront about the job's challenges paid off. They received over 3,000 queries from fearless nannies and ultimately found the person who they felt was perfect for the job.
That's good, I guess.
Would you take a job like that? Paid really good?
If it paid, it depended on the pay.
Well, they said it paid really good because of the ghosts.
I probably would give it a shot.
I probably would too.
Let's see how haunted this place is before I say no to a lot of money.
I mean, you can always quit, right?
Exactly. Okay, I have some just like what the fuck experiences people have had.
Okay.
Not necessarily scary. First one, an adult moose walked into the local grocery store in the middle of the day, headed to the produce section, and started eating fruit. Everyone outside my town doesn't believe it, but nobody in my town will ever forget it. That is hilarious.
That is hilarious.
I love it. In my city, we lift our hands at pedestrian crossings, and the cars stop so we can cross. Most people respect it. One day, getting off the bus, I saw a dog stop and lift his paw at the crossing.
Oh my gosh!
I stopped to watch, believing it a coincidence. Nope, the car stopped for the dog, and he crossed when it was completely safe. And yes, the dog was alone, no human beside him lifting their hand or anything. Most people don't believe me to this day. That dog must have been a once-in-a-generation genius, or he was taught by someone before living on the streets.
That is hilarious.
Oh my gosh.
I would love to see that.
Me too.
I would take that dog home.
Yeah, exactly. That's precious. In middle school, walking home from a friend's house, I went to pet a dog that looked like a big golden lab, facing away from me. I got about 3 feet away from it, and it turned toward me. It was a mountain lion in the front yard of a Chicago suburban house in an unremarkable neighborhood right near the sidewalk.
Oh my God.
I had nightmares for weeks. Finally, there was another sighting in the next town over, and it made the papers, and then all the stories came out about pets going missing, rabbits' heads in front yards, and all associated madness. My dad still thought I imagined it. I was a small kid, and it was a big lion.
Okay, how can they imagine it, and then a story comes out
Yeah.
about that?
That can't be oh my gosh.
Oh my God, I would die.
I would die. When I went to visit my grandparents in Florida, I swear I saw a woman who was riding a motorized couch on the sidewalk. Like it had wheels and evidently some kind of engine that allowed it to roll around, and she was controlling it with a joystick.
Talk about a couch potato.
Holy shit. We were driving too fast for me to take any pictures before she was out of view. I would love to see that shit.
That is so bad.
That is
you
bad.
Can't even get off your couch.
How did she get it out of the front door?
I
Maybe she's got a living room set up in her garage, and she just fucking lifts the door and rolls out.
Time to go to the store. I need to be comfortable, though.
Maybe her ass is literally stuck to the couch because she never gets off it.
Oh,
Gross.
that is horrible.
All right, next one. I saw a giant meteor in the sky around 2007, 2008. It was so big it lit up everything like it was daytime for a split second. It was much bigger than the moon in the sky. It slowed down and started stuttering like it had a low frame rate. You think they meant flame?
They might, like, I don't know.
I don't know. Then it disappeared as fast as it appeared. Legit thought it was just us. That's weird. Like, people would see that other than you, right?
You would think so, yeah.
Next one. A wild kangaroo in Denmark in winter. I got some blurry pictures. Some believe me, and others give me, oh, you saw a Sasquatch vibe. I was walking to the shops, and as I came upon the cycle path that ran behind the house, I witnessed a whole family, 2 kids in full school uniform with blazers, a dad in a full business suit with a briefcase, and a mother in her own professional business attire, all riding unicycles on their way to start their busy days. I stood there dumbfounded for a second before carrying on. Everyone rubbished my story, but it happened, man. It happened.
Why would you make something like that up?
Seriously, how could you even think about, like, what the fuck? That's so weird. I tossed a treat at my parents' dog. It hit the dog's nose, then bounced straight up into the air. Then it hit the dog's nose and bounced up again. This happened 3 times before the dog caught it. The dog in question is a very lazy mastiff. It looked like something out of a cartoon, and no one believes me.
That is very hard to believe.
That is, like 3 times?
Yeah.
I could see once, but 3 times?
Yeah, that's
a bouncy treat. This happened to my mom and me, but nobody believes our story. I was at the kitchen table studying when I was 16, and my mom was cooking dinner. A fly was buzzing around, and she swatted at it with a dishcloth. The same dishcloth that was on her shoulder being used as a hand-wiping rag while cooking. While waving the cloth around, she let go of it, and it flew somewhere behind her, and then it was just gone. I mean, gone. We both overturned the entire kitchen and even pulled out furniture, like the fridge, looking for it. Was there ever a rag? Or was she just using her hand and not a rag to swat at the fly and we were mistaken? It was so bizarre. Years later, when the house was completely empty because we were moving out, we both went back in there to do one final look. There was no rag. So I guess in some alternate dimension, some gnome was sitting around and a portal got open and dumped a wet cooking rag on it. What other explanation is there?
Yeah, they went through a portal.
That's so weird.
I want to know where all these things end up.
Oh, I wonder if it was in their wall. Wouldn't that be weird?
Although we do have stories of things just appearing.
Yeah.
So
maybe it is a portal. It could be in the middle of like some woods somewhere that we have no clue about. There's just like a pile of people's shit.
Yeah.
That would be hilarious.
Go or hiking one day. It's like, what's all this stuff doing out here?
And then you disappear.
That would suck.
Yeah. You end up in someone's kitchen.
Behind the refrigerator.
How the fuck did I do
Like, excuse me. Some help, please.
Could you imagine, like, someone banging from the inside of your wall
Oh
one
my
day?
god. Oh my god. I would die.
What? I would die. That would be so scary.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my god.
I would die.
Okay.
That might make me move out.
Yeah, I think that would probably do it for me, too.
The cops would definitely be called.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't know, there is somebody in my walls.
I feel so bad for the guy in the wall.
Oh, I know.
He just showed up there. He'd be all in trouble.
He'd get him out and he'd be in trouble and he had no idea how he got there.
I was walking in the woods.
He's in jail because he went for a walk.
Oh, shit. That sucks. There are innocent people in jail. Oh, God. Okay. I was climbing Mount Hood back in 2007 and was near the summit when a drone came buzzing up alongside the mountain and essentially crop dusted the climbing route before going over the summit. It made a loop and then flew back down the south side of the hood. This was well before consumer drones took off and was clearly military or experimentational. That's kind of creepy, but that's so, like, common now. Like,
Yeah.
That's not...
Yeah.
When I was about 6, I was running down the stairs at school to be the first to leave the classroom at the end of the day. I pulled a 50-cent piece coin from my pocket and dropped it. It bounced down the stairs, and when it hit the floor at the bottom, it landed perfectly upright on its side. For non-English people, 50-cent piece coins are 50-pound coins? I don't know. It says 50p. Are huge, thin, 7-sided coins, and this is just so impossibly unlikely to happen. I stood there and stared in disbelief and tried to tell everyone that rushed past, but no one seemed to believe me or care. Eventually, I picked it up and went home with no one to share my moment with, one of the most exciting moments of my life. That's cool.
Well, I guess.
Or it would be cool, like, if you were a kid and that happened.
Yeah.
When I was 8 years old, living in rural Illinois, I witnessed a UFO hovering over a cornfield about 300 yards away from me as I headed home for dinner. The sun was just beginning to go down, and I can't say how long I watched it before it shot straight up and disappeared. But I caught hell for being late for dinner. When I tried to explain what I saw, I was ridiculed and sent to my room without dinner for lying, and never said much about it to anyone until recently. That's again, I mean, like, aliens are absolutely a thing, and like it's kind of becoming common now.
Yeah.
In the 2000s in France, I left my work in an industrial part of town, which is the arrival city of the Tour de France. A car from Lance Armstrong's U.S. Postal Service team stopped by the trash, dumped a plastic bag in it, and left as fast as they came. A few years later, we learned about all the doping stuff. I always wondered if I should have looked at what they threw out. Uh-oh. I bet it totally was.
It probably was.
Just pull up to a random trash can.
Yeah.
Yeah. My best friend and I both saw the outline of a man in my window in bed one night, except he had claws and wings. We both thought we were imagining it until we offhandedly mentioned it to each other the next morning, but everyone thinks we're lying. How would you get an image? I could see the wings. How do you know it had claws if it was just an outline of a man?
I guess if their hand was up.
Or maybe on the window? Interesting. When I was a kid, I had a favorite stuffed frog. I slept with it every night. My cousin liked it too, so his mom got him one. One day after he stayed the night, I noticed I had 2 stuffed frogs and assumed my cousin left his stuffed frog at my house. When I brought it back to him, he showed me that he still had his frog. My frog had a crack down the center of its left eye. Upon inspection of the mysterious third frog, it had the exact same crack down its left eye. When I compared my frog to my cousin's, they had minor differences. The tag was in a slightly different spot, the seams were sewn off a bit, and the casting lines on the eyes were different. My frog and the mystery third frog were exactly the same. I could only assume it was somehow duplicated.
That's crazy.
That is crazy. I owned a historic house that was built in the 1700s. It was formerly owned by a well-known politician who used it as a country cottage. My bedroom was directly over the large reception room. On more than one occasion, I woke up to hear jazz music, people laughing, and glasses clinking. It could not have been my neighbors since I didn't have any. I don't believe in anything supernatural, but it seems hard to explain it away. That is so cool to me. I mean, it's creepy.
Yeah.
But it's like just to hear like a party going on, that's so crazy. I was walking behind someone outside of a gas station and they became pitch black and disappeared in broad daylight. I was 3 steps behind this guy. There was no mistaking what I witnessed.
Ooh, that's weird.
That is creepy. When I was in middle school at a sleepover, my friend and I were talking about our favorite foods. He said his favorite was meatball marinara, and I said it's marinara, maybe? So we made a bet, it was raining outside, that if the lightning struck the place where I pointed within a minute, I would be right. He said that it was too long, so we changed it to 10 seconds. As soon as I said 1, it struck exactly in that place. We were so hyped we almost woke up the other people in the house, but no one believed us. I breathed underwater once. I realized it was happening and did my best to check it was really happening because I knew it shouldn't be. Eventually, I realized I'd been at the bottom of the pool for a long time and surfaced to tell my mother and ask for an explanation. But she was reading a book and thought I was making up nonsense, so logically I put my face in the water and tried to do it again. I started crying because now I had stinging water up my nose and was apparently failing at understanding reality. About 20 years later, my older stepson came home and told me that he'd found himself breathing at the bottom of a pool at the park and only surfaced when he realized he might be worrying the lifeguard. I told him, yeah, I did that once too. Reality isn't as solid as it looks. Just be careful with that, please. He was maybe 17 years old at the time.
Wow. That's interesting.
That is interesting.
Huh.
And my last one. In my old job in a restaurant, there was an apartment above. We used to use the electric oven there for extra space when we had a lot going on. It was said the building was haunted. It was a huge 4-story place. I was struggling with something out of the oven and had my hands full, so I knocked the light off with my elbow. The door that leads out of the apartment was open the whole time, so I knocked...
Estheticians everywhere.
Sorry.
So I knocked the hall light off with my elbow, then went out and about to put the tray down so I could close the door. As I was putting it down, the door closed. Not slammed, just closed. I was worried and just said thanks like an idiot. I don't believe in ghosts, but that was strange. That's very helpful.
All right, it's time for the witty wrap-up.
Yay, witty wrap-up!
Hello. My 2-year-old child has been watching Olympic diving replays for the past half hour, and every time the divers hit the water, he says, "Oh no!"
Oh, that's cute.
My son cannot believe he graduated from kindergarten, and he's still got to go back to school. He thought that shit was over.
Oh my God.
That would be horrifying to think if you were, yay, I graduated, I'm done.
Kindergarten, yeah. I'm done.
And then realize you have to go through.
You haven't even started yet.
Yeah, I haven't even started.
Oh, God.
School email, your child needs to buy a recorder. Me, blocked. Stupid recorders. I remember those.
I do too.
Me, we really need to be better about our language around the kids. Husband, why? 3-year-old snuggles down on the couch with a blanket, whispers, "This is cozy as fuck." Husband, I see.
This is cozy as fuck.
I would bust out laughing. I wouldn't be able to help it.
This is cozy as fuck. Oh my God, that is hilarious. I would not be able to hold it together.
No way. A dad is never lost on a road trip. We're just exploring our options for the best route.
I missed that one, sorry. I was thinking of that kid. That's hilarious. Sorry.
Said a dad is never on a road trip. We're just exploring our options for the best route.
Ah.
My daughter is cooking breakfast. She knows her brother likes to crack eggs for her. She yells to him, I need my little cracker boy." Me and my wife looked at each other and both said, "Your little cracker boy?"
Oh, that's funny.
While we picnic on the beach earlier this week, my 3-year-old sighed and said, "Ah, this is the life." He contemplated the shoreline in silence as he ate. After a while, I asked, "What are you thinking about?" Solemnly, he replied, "Thinking about peanut butter honey sandwich."
Oh, I like it.
My kid has spent the last hour playing the video game Google Maps on her iPad, so please, nobody tell her. Hit the end of my rope on vacation and said we aren't going on another vacation until the kids are 18. And instead of that statement having any emotional impact, the kids are excited, talking about how they're going to bring their husbands and wives and children.
God damn it.
Totally flew right over their heads.
And 18 husbands, wives,
Yeah, really.
kids? Jeez.
They have no clue.
It's hilarious.
My toddler has these little stuffed animals he calls his guys, and it's the cutest thing. Before he takes a nap, he's always like, "I need my guys. That's all. I used to be cool."
That's cute.
My 8-year-old came in to show me the dress her cousin passed down to her. She twirled around and then exclaimed, "And it has pockets!" I couldn't be prouder.
That's great.
What is our deal with pockets?
We don't ever get any. And if we
that's
do
true.
get any, they're tiny. They make no sense.
That's true. My wife is upset with me because she says it's my fault that my toddler keeps belting out the F word. I pointed out that it can't possibly be me since I say the F word in a soft tone of voice. Totally different.
You know, he's screaming it. I don't do that.
I recently taught my kiddo how to make my iced coffee because she loves to be involved. It's always made so well, and the other day something just felt off. This morning she made my coffee, and while she was doing the espresso, she said, "Sometimes you need extra energy, so I do 4 scoops."
Woo!
Yeah. One of my favorite parts of 2020 was when I had a baby and went out into the back alley and held him up like Simba, and all the Italian grandmas on their balconies cheered.
That's amazing.
That is great. Overheard my boyfriend explaining the count to our daughter. He is a Muppet, like Elmo, but his whole thing is counting. He just counts. So they call him the Count. He's also a vampire. My autistic baby will sleep until 9:30 and get right into shenanigans. Baby said, who needs a warm-up when you've slept for 13 hours? I asked my kid how to change a setting on my phone and she laughed. Not sure what's funny. I taught her how to use a spoon. Me. I'm not the stepfather. I'm the father that stepped up. Wife. They're your biological children and you don't have to say that every time you climb a flight of stairs.
Oh my God.
I used to wonder how people ever filled up a vacuum bag, and then I had kids. Now I wonder how people can afford enough vacuum bags.
Yeah.
My son said, you're pushing 50, you're not that old, chill, and I don't know if I should ground him or hug him. 9-year-old. Have you heard the song, I Like Big Butts and I Cannot Lie? Me, yes, but that song is inappropriate. 9-year-old, oh, so I should lie?
Okay, I don't like big butts.
My teen shut location sharing off on her phone, and now I have to call my mom and apologize for causing her crippling anxiety every night from 1978 to 1986. And my last one, nobody. My son, 8. I wish you could earn $1 every time you eat.
Oh my God, that would be amazing. We'd all be so fucking fat.
Yes, we would. And that's all I got.
All right, thank you for listening. Send in your stories. We need them. ghoulsnightoutpodcast@gmail.com. You can rate, review, and subscribe wherever you listen, and we will talk to you in a couple weeks.
Later.
Bye.